Okay, guys. So welcome to this session. We are running out of time. It's already 9 o'clock, and I thank you each and everyone to join this session, because in this session we will learn a lot of things. So let me share my screen so that we can understand what we are going to speak about today. So I'm just sharing my screen. So everybody, are you able to see my screen? Srinath, everyone?
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah. Okay. So we are good to go. So today we are going to discuss two things importantly in Microsoft Power Platform. First, we will discuss about how we can extend Power Portals using JavaScript, jQuery, and Liquid. This is a advanced coding part of Power Platform or Power Apps in Power Portal, right? It's not a basic tutorial or basic session. If you know the basics, then you can understand more on this session. And the secondly, once we will complete that extension of Power Portal using JavaScript and jQuery, also the server-side code Liquid, Srinath is going to present how we can use application lifecycle management whenever we work in Dateverse projects. Let's say we are working on a solution, we added some components, how we can migrate one system to another system with that solution package. So this session is going to be most interesting. So let us start. So before starting the session, let me tell you about myself. If you want to join me in my online channels, if you can join in my blog site. I am managing a blog in softship.com, and I have already created a YouTube channel. You already know about it, and you can subscribe because I'm creating different types of technical videos on Dynamics 365 and Microsoft Power Platform area. And also, if you want to connect me in LinkedIn, you can go to this Subchip username so that you can search me and connect me. I have also a Twitter handle. You can connect me in Twitter. So it's just about connections, right? If you want to connect with me, you can connect. Whatever I present, whatever tutorial, blogs, whatever, you can understand, right? So the prospect of connection is you can understand what I am going to speak in different topics, what are the online events, what blogs I am updating regularly. For that only you can connect, right? Next, if you want to join a larger platform like user groups, there are many user groups that is already available in Microsoft. And I am managing Mumbai India Power Platform user group, which is now currently in second position with highest member. And I request everyone to join. If you have not joined, you can join this group. And we are also creating events regularly on every Saturday. And you can join and you can be a part of this session. And these are all free sessions, right? So you just need to give 1 hour and you can learn a lot of things. And also I'm managing another community called as Subchip community. You can join in this community by going to my community site. So this is the community site, member.subchip.com. You can join here, right? Already many members are already joined, more than 200 members are joined already. So you can join here. Now, okay, so let us go to the topic, right? So today's topic I want to present is how we can leverage JavaScript or how we can leverage Power Portals, writing client-side scripts and server-side scripts, right? So first thing we need to understand let's say this is our Power Portal, right? In the Power Portal, what are the areas where I can write code, right? That is the first thing. So first thing is you can use web templates to write codes, right? Here is web template. You can see if you go to web templates, there are many web templates already created by Microsoft that you can use, like advertise, add templates, blank page, right? Categories, header, all these web templates are used to write code, right? Here you can see in the source we have written some liquid codes. Here we have written some HTML codes. We can also write JavaScript here. So one area in Power Portal to write code is web templates, right? Number two is basic forms and advanced forms. Basic form is something that you can create a form so that user can interact with your data, right? Let's say I have already created a page. I can show you. I'm just trying to browse website. So the concept of basic form and advanced form is we can create a ready-made form so that the portal users or public users can interact with our database, or whether it is account, contact, or any data they want to interact. Let's say I have created a student record. Let me click on this link. I have created some list here, right? Yeah, it is trying to log in. Let me log in. The list is not authorized. The list is authorized. That's why it is asking me to log in. Right now, I have presented this page. Right in this page, I have displayed many records here using a list. Now, I have also enabled create functionality. When you click on create, it displays a form. Now, if you want to inject some JavaScript or jQuery or some liquid codes, then also you can leverage this form. This is nothing but a form, right? Basic form. So you can leverage writing code on this form. That's why you can use these forms to write code. Now, where you write code, let me open the web template first. I will show you where you write code. The area which is used to write code. This is web template. I can open a web template, for example. If you open web template, there is a section called as source. This source area is used to write your code, right? This is the first section. Next section is basic form. Let us go and click on basic form. In the basic form, if you open any form, if you go to additional settings, right? In the additional settings, if you scroll down, you will find there is a section called as custom JavaScript. Can you see that? Custom JavaScript is custom JavaScript section is there. Now you can put your code here and you can save it and it will work, right? So this is one area that will be used for custom JavaScript or jQuery, right? Now, what is next element, next component that I can leverage writing codes? The next element is if you go to advanced forms. This is again advanced form, right? You can create a new advanced form. Let me just quickly use test. There is no advanced web form, advanced forms. That's why I'm just creating to show you where actually we add JavaScript. Now, for every advanced form, we can create a new advanced form. Just I'm quickly showing you where we use that coding in advanced form. Right now, I can define a table name here. Now, if you go to here in the form options, can you see that in the form option also there is a section so that you can inject your JavaScript or client scripts. When I am speaking about JavaScript, it's not about JavaScript. Any client script that is part of JavaScript library, let's say jQuery, you can also add jQueries in this area, right? So first thing is web template, next thing is basic forms, third thing is advanced form, And the fourth thing is web sites, right? Sorry, web pages, right? Guys, can you mute your mic? I'm having some, yeah, I'm having some trouble. Okay, now this is the advanced form. Now, what other area? Web page. Web page is another component where you can write down your custom code, right? Let's say I am opening this blank page or any page. If you go to page, there is a section called as localized content. In this localized content, you will find there is a section called as HTML. In this section, you can write your scripts, right? So there are 4 components in Microsoft Power Apps, Power Portal that you can leverage writing your custom code, right? Now let us go to my slide to understand what we can do with our script. The first thing is we can manipulate field visibility. Let's say you want to hide some fields on your portal, then you can also do that, right? Here this form is displaying. I want to hide this email field. Then I can also write some JavaScript or jQuery to hide it. And I want to, let's say someone enter some value on change of this value. I want to make it capital letter, all letters automatically. Then I can write JavaScript or jQuery something. I want to validate mobile number, right? I can validate it. I can validate email format, right? So whatever things that you can do with JavaScript or in jQuery, that we can leverage completely, as because Power Portals are public custom websites. Remember, this is website, so we can leverage the website with concept of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, and also the server side code using Liquid. Of course, you cannot use C# or other Java, other server side codes, but Liquid programming is used to leverage server side connections. Okay. Now, what we also can do, we can disable enable fields, and we can also change the style of elements using CSS and JavaScript, right? Next, field value manipulation. Field value manipulation means there is a text box. I want to give a value using script. I can do that also. I want to show some alerts or prompt or confirm box. I can also do that. So these are all code snippets, sample code snippets I have given. We will test that. And validate fields. If you want to validate an email field, or if you want to validate some phone number, Aadhaar card, SSN number, which requires a regular expression to validate, you can use that. Because in normal JavaScript or jQuery, we have that validations already, right? We just need to inject in Power Portal, right? Now, if we include JavaScript and jQuery, this will give you more power, right? Like that, the same functionality we can do with jQuery, right? In jQuery, we can also do the same functionalities that I have written here, right? So if it requires more line of code in JavaScript, so simple JavaScript to write down some script, if you write jQuery, it will be done in less code. This code you can use to hide a nearest table row for a specific element, right? This code is used to validate a form field or using jQuery, right? And this code is used to define an email ID is properly formatted or not. You cannot give an email ID field with XYZ or something, right? So like that, we can use jQuery and JavaScript as per our choice. Now we will go to Liquid template. Liquid is a powerful code or powerful programming language by which we can, or scripting language you can think of, we can connect to server, we can connect to Dynamics 365 server to pull data or to manipulate data. If you want to read data from your Dynamics 365 server, let's say on your Power Portal, you want to display list of accounts. for some reason, then you have to write custom code using liquid programming, right? Now, liquid is a programming language which is actually authored or provisioned by Shopify website, right? If you want to master JavaScript, I will tell you, if you want to master JavaScript, I will always recommend go to W3 schools and read this JavaScript completely. If you want to master, right? And also, if you want to master CSS and other things like jQuery, also you can learn here, right? You can search. Let's say jQuery. You want to search. jQuery is most important rather than JavaScript, right? You can go to jQuery tutorial and you can go and read how it works, right? Now, what about Liquid? Liquid is a proprietary website, proprietary programming language that is designed by Shopify.com. Shopify is a commerce online commerce website which is used to host online shopping websites. This liquid programming is actually generated by Shopify website. If you want to learn more about liquid syntax, operators, tags, control flow, iterations, you can check here, right? How if else is used, right? So the syntax you can go through here. So if you master this area, then it is easy to write code on your Power Portal using liquids. Okay. Anyway, so this is the fundamental, and we will now show you the practical things how you can actually inject this course in Power Portal. Okay, let us first go to JavaScript, and I want to try to hide some field values, right? Let us go here. So this is my form, right? When someone click create, the form is opening here. I want to hide this email field. How can I hide this? So first we need to understand which form is this, right? So how to identify this form? What is the target form we are using? So you understand on create of this button, this form is opening, right? That means this button is associated with this list. So go to your Power App Portal Studio and open the same page. What is the page? You can understand the page is student record, right? So I'll go here and try to open the student record page. Can you see that this is student data record page? This is the page. Now the button is available here, right? Now I can click on this list to understand which form is used in the create function. You can see here in the create new record, the form is used student create form, right? Now I will directly go back to the Power Portal Management app. This is my Portal Management app, model driven app. Here I will search for the form. What is the form? My form is student create form. So I'll go to the basic form and open student create form. So this is the target form that is actually opening here when someone click here. So my requirement is to hide this. So I will go to the basic form and go to additional settings. So I will identify on this form which area is there where I can write code. So scroll down, you will find an area called as custom JavaScript. Now I have to write the code here, but what code I will write? So my requirement is to hide this field, right? That means I have to identify the ID of this email field, right? So how can I find out the ID of this field? Because this is a Power Portal and this is published as a website, right? So the best option is right click on the control that you want to manipulate, click on inspect. Once you inspect here in your elements hierarchy, your control is highlighted, right? This is my control. In your you can also use F12 to open this debugger, right? Now this is my input control. which is acted as a email. Every control has a ID field. Can you see that? This is the ID field. Now this ID field is required to manipulate this input control using JavaScript or jQuery. Right? So now copy this ID. Now close this. I have just copied my code. So I will go here. Okay, I'm putting here. Now, as this is my ID, I want to hide this. That means in JavaScript, what code I have to write? This is the code I have to write. Document.get element by ID. Document.get element by ID. Then you have to pass your control or input control ID. My input control ID is soft_email, right? So I'll delete this, and using this JavaScript style property, display property, then you have to pass as none. You have to pass none as to hide, and you have to pass block as to display. Now I will just copy this line of code and go to form and just put it here. And this is the basic form. Try to save it. Let us understand how it works or not. Once it is saved, I will go back to the Power App Studio and click on Sync Configuration. You have to click on Sync Configuration to synchronize the configurations you have done in Portal Management Model-Driven Apps to Power Portal Studio. Okay. Now synchronization is done. Now I will click on Browse Website to check if I can see that changes or not. That means if the email field is hidden or not. Click on Browse Website. Now in the student record, if I click on create, can you see that it is not hidden? This is very interesting then, and very awkward. I have written the code, but it is not working. I also double checked the code is perfect, the JavaScript code. Now why it is not working? There is a catch. When you write JavaScript in the custom JavaScript section, it will not execute unless the page is loaded completely. The document is loaded completely. That's why Microsoft Power Portal supports jQuery, and you have to write all scripts inside a code called as document.ready function. So you have to use this function. Then inside that you have to write whatever script you want to write. Understand this? So you have to write document.ready function. This is a jQuery function to identify whether the document is fully loaded or not. Now it will give you, it will identify yes, it is fully loaded. Then execute this script. Now click on save it. Now once you save it, now I can go to here, again click on Sync Configuration, and I will test it if it is working fine or not. Now I will go here, click on Browse Website. Just trying to refresh. Now click on create. Can you see that the email field is hidden? Right? Now what about this email? Very funny. Why it is still showing here? It's not funny because you have not written any code to hide this. You have just written code to hide the input text. Now I have to write another line of code to hide this label, right? So I'll just right click and check what is the ID of this control. The ID of this control is soft_email_label. Just copy this, again go to your basic form and write down the same thing. And here I will write down the ID. Right, now let me save this. Then I will go to Power App Studio and sync configuration and click on browse website. Right. Now once it will refresh, I will expect that the email label will also be hidden, and also the text box that behaves for that stores email field will also be hidden. Right. So click on create, and this both is done. Both is hidden, right? So like that, you can write our JavaScript to manipulate fields. But you can notify here why I have written two codes, two line of code to hide a specific, two fields. Now I can leverage jQuery to write only one line and it will do the work. How can I do that? Go here and copy this, go to jQuery. Using this option, line of code, you can do that. So what is this line? This line will extract, this jQuery code will extract the ID and it will find out the closest, the nearest to TR element, and it will hide it. Hide function is the jQuery function which will hide the element. Now just copy one element, paste it here and delete two lines. This single line of code in jQuery will hide the complete row that is nearest to this ID. Now what is the nearest ID? Go here and check that. Can you see that this is our control, input control for email, which is hidden. Now the nearest TR is this one. Now it will completely hide this TR, which is a combination of email label and email field. Right? Now let us see if it is working fine or not. I have given this and save this. And try to sync configuration. So this is the power of jQuery. You can minimize your line of codes using jQuery with simple syntax, because jQuery is more powerful than just only JavaScript. Now once we click browse website, it's taking time. Click on sync configuration again. Click on browse website. Otherwise, if it's not working immediately, you can just refresh the whole screen completely. And click on sync configuration. And then we can click on browse website. Now, if I click on create record also, I'm expecting the email field should be hidden. Can you see that the TR is completely hidden? Last time when I have hidden both, there was a space given here. There was a space, but now the space is also gone. So that is the beauty of jQuery, right? Now let us go and check other functionalities also. If you want to disable field, you can also disable, right? You can change colors also using this code, right? I want to, let's say, I want to write down something, this code, okay? My next requirement is, let's say I want to change when someone click on this create, when someone write down the first name, I want to automatically change this first name to capital letter automatically using JavaScript. Then how can I do that? Let us go, and I have already created some example. I'll copy this. I have already documented on ready function. So I'll copy this, insert the ready function and paste it here. What it will do, it will just get the ID of the first name control, add a event listener on change event, and it will call a function where I am reading again the same control and updating the value as same value dot to uppercase method. This to uppercase method will change the value of this first name field to uppercase and again assign the value to the same field. Right? Now let us save this and test this. Synchronize configuration. Now I will just browse website. Now when I will write down something in first name, as soon as you go out of focus, it will change the text of first name to capital letters, right? Now click on create, write down something in the first name, let's say Sudhir Ranjan, and go outside. Can you see that? It is changed. These are all, these changes are very, very common in normal websites. Okay, in form, when you apply some application form, these are the, very generic things we do in JavaScript. And that is also applicable to Power Portal, right? So anything you write, it will change to capital letter. So now I can leverage this code to change anything on my components. Now let us go and see some JavaScript related thing. We have also seen jQuery, how we can hide project TR, right? I want to assign a value, right? Let's say, just copy this. I want to assign this full name as the combination of first name and last name. When someone gives here, let's say someone gives Sudhir, and here someone gives J. I want to auto-populate full name as combination of first name and last name. User do not need to write down here. Then how can I do that? So I have to build that function, right? So now I have to first read the two values, right? And I want to add a on change event on last name, right? So I'll just copy this existing code, and this time I will add for last name, right? On the last name, what it will do, I will just change my function to my function 2, and here it will read the last name, okay, and also it will read, let's say I'm just changing the variable x1, and also it will read x2, and this is for first name. So I'm just reading first name and last name on change of this last name field. Then what I want to do, I want to concatenate two fields, right? So I will take another variable in JavaScript for full name or equal to x2 plus space. This is how JavaScript works, right? Concatenation. Then I can write x1 first name and last name, Then I can assign this full name to. I have to again read full name, right? So take another. So copy this code. jQuery. Put it here, and that ID is soft underscore full name. You can identify the ID by using inspect element. Soft underscore full name equal to this value. What is the value? Full name. Right? I don't need this one. Now, what is the syntax I have missed here? When you are reading the value, you have to write down here dot value. In JavaScript, you have to use dot value to read a control value. So X first last name is retrieved, first name is retrieved, full name is combined both. Then I want to pass this full name to full name object to assign this control. Let us see if it is working fine or not. Okay, so save this. Right, once it is saved, I will go to here, try to sync configuration.
But this will fire only on change of last name only, right?
Yes.
If you want to both, well, then we have to write one more function. Okay.
You have to write one more, yes, please. So I'm just showing demo so that you can modify according to your feasibility, right?
Okay, yeah.
Let me browse website. Because normally people will give first name, then last name. That's why I have used this. But sometimes if someone updates first name again, then you have to write that on change for first name also.
Yes.
Now click on create and give something. Let's say Sudhir. Can you see that? Now, if I'll update this, it will work. But if I'll update this, it will not work because I have not associated on change event to update this. Anyway, you guys are clever enough to understand to modify your code. Okay. Now, like that, another important thing I want to tell you, how I can validate a field. For example, let me remove this line of code for now. I don't want to hide email. So save. And now synchronize configuration. I want to make a field mandatory before saving this. Email field is optional as of now, but I want to make that field mandatory before saving the record so that user must have to give the value before getting the record. So I can click on this create option. Can you see that now email field is given? If someone gives some value here, then by giving all data, he can submit here. Let us submit this. Can you see that email field is blank and it is submitted, which is wrong. My requirement is you have to provide a email mandatory. Then I have to write down some script to make this field as mandatory. Right? So what is the script? This is the script. I'll tell you about the script first. Copy this and put it. Just copy. I have already ready function. You just put up to this. Go here in the basic function. I want to write down the another code here. Okay. The first code is to validate any field. You can identify whether page validator is undefined or not. If it is on the page validator is an object that is provided by Microsoft Power Portal to check if it is valid or not. If it is not valid, then return. If it is valid, go inside and create a validator section. First, you have to design an element called as span. Span is a HTML element which will display a section and you can display a message inside that span. And I want to define some property of the new validator. Style, display none. Initially, it will be display none. Which ID need to validate? Soft underscore email ID need to validate. Which control to validate? soft underscore email control is validated. This is the ID I have already shown you last time, right? And error message, what error message you want to display? You can modify error message here. Let's say I want to modify, you must provide a email ID. Okay. Now validation group you can give, you are if you are managing a validation group, but let's keep it blank and keep it simple. Initial value, I don't want to give anything. And in the evaluation function, you have to write your function, which actually validates the expression. What is the function you want to check? I want to check whether soft underscore email, that means the email field is blank or not. To do that, you have to read the soft underscore email value. So I have taken a variable and here I am reading the value of the email field. Okay. Now I am checking if value is equal to null or value equal to blank, return false. Once you return false, your Power Portal will understand there is a validation issue. So it will display this message automatically. If it is not blank, then return true. True means no validation is required. All pass. Okay. So you can leverage this section to define all your codes to check or to identify for which condition you want to return false or for which condition you want to return true. Once it is done, you have to write down page validator.push, because page validator is an array object. You want to push one by one validator object inside this page validator so that it will display as a list. Only I have taken one validator, so I have pushed this one. If you have multiple validators, then you can push one by one. Next, I am just trying to wire up this click functionality so that whenever someone click that message, that will display, because this message will display at the validation stage in the top of the form. Once I click this message, it should auto focus the email field so that user understand, yes, this field is mandatory, I have to give, right? So like that, we have to validate like this. So this is the code to write down your validation. Let us check. Save this. I'm trying to save the form. Saved. I will go to here and try to sync configuration. Right now, I will go here and try to browse website. Now click on create. Now let us check this. Immediately click on submit. When you click on submit, it will display gender is mandatory, full name mandatory, last name mandatory, first name mandatory. But what about email and mobile? Click on submit. Can you see that? First name, last name, full name, gender, and also my custom validator at last. Right? Let us check this. Now click on submit. It's still showing my message because I have already injected some jQuery validator to make the email field as mandatory. Right? Once you give the email field in submit, it will submit successfully. Right? Now this is how validation works. Right? Now you can understand how you can leverage JavaScript and jQuery. Next, we will use some liquid codes to display server-side codes. Right? Let's say this is my web page. Right? In the web page, I want to display some message like welcome user. So let's say I will just copy this and I will go to here. So this is the page. What is the page name? This is student record page. So I will go to this page at the source code editor at the below section, and I can click a object, then click on source code. Now I want to display a liquid code. right? Before this entity list, so I can specify here, it will display hello visitor, the time is now. The liquid codes are displayed like double curly braces, and this slash is, this pipeline is used to filter the value with a granular level. This will display current date, and this will filter by complete long date format. So click on save and check. So once you add in liquid code, it will automatically display here. Okay, if you browse, it will also display here. Let us browse it. So which liquid code we have used? We have used now. Now is a liquid object which will display the current date and time. So in liquid code, you can also use controls. Can you see that? Hello visitor, the time is this. Right? What other things we can do? We can also use user's first name, last name. Okay, user is an object. If you want to display current login user's first name, you can use this code. Okay, you can also use if and else condition to define if it is logged in user, then it will display user.first name. If it is not logged in user, anonymous user, it will just display visitor. Right? You can use this. Let me copy this and go to here and put your code here. I want to write down this code. Right? Here, assign is used to declare a variable in Power Portal. So in this variable, I am assigning the value Power Portal. Then if condition, if user object is exist, that means logged in user already there, then display user's first name, uppercase. Otherwise, it will display greetings visitor. That's it. Save it. Once you save it and click on browse, I'm expecting the data here. It will display because already I have logged in, and it will display welcome username, user's first name or last name, whatever we have designed there. So as user is logged in, it should display hello Rakesh from Power Apps portal. Right? This is from login user. If I'll sign out, it will display hello greetings visitor from Power Portal. Right? So like that, you can use if and else conditions. Now, what is the next sample we will use? I want to read a list of accounts. Okay, from Dynamics 365 to display on portal. This is the code entity view that is used to display set of accounts. Let me copy this. And I want to display a list of accounts below this list. So I'll go here and try to display a list of accounts below this. Okay. Now click on save. You can understand this. This is used to logical flow. I am reading here. I am creating an entity view object, liquid object, to understand which entity I want to read, which view I want to read. Active accounts. Then it will display we have the total record count of accounts, how many account records are there, and using for loop in liquid, it will display account name and account telephone number. Right? So click on save. So to read more about liquid codes, you can go to Microsoft site and you can analyze what other objects are available. Can you see that it will display here? We have 100 accounts and the account and phone numbers are displaying here. Right? Now, if you browse website, you cannot see this. It will display in the Power Portal Studio, but it will not display in Power Portal app because you need to enable table permission for account for the login user. Can you see that it is telling 0 accounts? Why it is 0 accounts? Because you have not enabled permission. Let me define a permission quickly. I'll go to table permission. It will take 2 minutes to end my session so that Srinath can start. So click on table permission and define a new table permission. Because if you want to show a set of record, you have to define a table permission. I want to define accounts. That's why I will use a name accounts permission and choose the table. The table is accounts and website. For which website you are creating this table permission, access type is global and read permission. I just want to read, so click on save. Now this table permission I have to associate to a web role. Which web role? I want to enable for vendor web role, because the current login user is a vendor. So I have associated web role. Now I am expecting the user can see the records, because I have associated account table permission with this web role. Go here and try to refresh. Can you see that? You can see the data. So there are many things to leverage this code in Power Portal, JavaScript, jQuery, and Liquid. Try learning more and practice so that you can learn more. Okay. So any questions, guys? You can ask me. Otherwise, Srinath will start his session.
Yeah, one thing, Sanjay, from my side.
Yeah.
So you have enabled the now table permissions for the account double time, right?
Account permission double time.
Double time means you have given permission to the authenticated users for showing
Yes.
all the accounts.
Yes.
But one of my real-time account, they don't want to log into system. That is meant they are not non-authenticated persons. Still, I want to show that all accounts to them.
Still, you want to display all accounts.
Correct.
Right. Then you have to stop enable permission for the list.
So
Let's say, if,
okay. Please.
yeah, let me share the screen again. So what is your requirement again? Tell me.
For non-authenticated users also, we have to show the all their retrieved table records.
Okay, then you have to go here in the table permission. Is a table permission, and in the table permission, you have to go to related web role. And you have to enable this authenticated user as yes. If you make this drop down yes, then it will display all the accounts for vendors to vendors so that they can see account records. If you want to display for anonymous records, anonymous users also, make it yes.
Okay, got it.
Okay, thank you guys. Srinath, you can start your session because we are running out of time. Thank you everyone for watching my session. I hand over to Srinath to start his session for Dateverse ALM. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjay. Let me share my screen.
Yes.
So are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Sanjay, and calling for the section. And thank you everyone joining us. My name is Srinath. I'm working as a technical consultant over the 6 years and 2 years into DevOps. And this is about my social links. You guys can reach out me on LinkedIn, Twitter, and also I have a YouTube channel. And this is the URL. So you guys can reach out there, and have posted a couple of DevOps and Dynamics related posts as well. And I have a GitHub repository as well. So I used to post a couple of code samples in the repository, and I have a blog as well. So I used to post some of the technical blogs in that website. You guys can subscribe over there. And today we are going to discuss about DevOps for Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. So these are the social links for DevOps from Microsoft, and website, and Twitter handle, and also the forum as well, and blog also Microsoft is there, and just subscribe to these links, and we get update all the DevOps related stuff from Microsoft on a weekly basis. And today agenda is I will show you some introduction to the DevOps, and I will show you a couple of pipelines to create to export the solution from dev to uh, test and UAT with the released pipelines. And also I will show you some service connections, how we can create the service connection in Active Directory, and how we can sync back to our Dateverse environments as an application user. And also I will show you how we export the solution from dev environment, and unpack it, and commit into a repository where we have the project in DevOps. So I will show you that as well. When we unpack solution in the repository, so we can how we pack the solution, and how we import back to other environment on the line, test and UAT and production. How export and import manage solution from environment to another environment, that is also I will show you. And also how this exported solutions will be placed in artifacts also, that is also we're going to see it. And in the last we'll have Q&A. Yeah, what is the DevOps is in a software as a platform. It provides end-to-end development for deploying and applications. It is a language platform as well as a cloud CI/CD platform. There is no need of any other systems to run this pipelines. It has Microsoft is providing for the virtual machines to run these pipelines, and it's a cloud hosted repositories. And it will avoid human errors when we upload import the solution from one environment to another environment. Comes in a lot of issues, some sort of dependency missing, we may chance of failure of importing, sometimes environment also breakage. So we can avoid those kind of things with the this CI/CD pipeline for Dynamics and Power Platform. And Microsoft released this Power Platform build tools for this CI/CD for Dynamics. So it released in 2019 late, and it is early available, general available in 2020. And it has 12 build tasks, and Microsoft still adding couple of task in that this extension in DevOps. And we can see that it's a set version, publish customizations, export solution, deploy package. Couple of tasks were added in this extension in the DevOps. Yeah, I'm going to demonstrate. This is the pipeline structure looks like. We're going to have one build pipeline. It is going to be export and manage solution, and then unpack the solution, and it will going to be commit to repository as unpacked solution. So it will help us to use the solution to import back in the down the line environments as a managed or unmanaged whatever. So it will give us a privilege to store our solution as a unpacked solution. So if anything goes wrong anytime, we can go back and pack it, and we can import down the line environment, so that we can our solution will be some sort of safe place in the repository. Yeah, that's the reason why this code post in the repository, which is better. And unpacked solution will pack it with the build pipeline and import as a unmanaged to the down the line environment, then export from there as a managed and unmanaged. So pack it in the report artifacts. From that artifacts, we are going to have one release pipeline. So that release pipeline going to pick the artifacts wherever we posted in artifacts. We are going to post two artifacts, which is a managed and unmanaged solutions. So that release pipeline will going to pick that solution and import the down the line environments. So this is the build pipeline. Looks like it has PowerShell script task and tool installer. So I will going to demonstrate how this pipelines and things like that. Let me show you the DevOps. Yeah, this is the DevOps, Pega technologies, and my organization under my organization. These are the two projects I have. So first, we need to have when we create an trial or enterprise level DevOps environments, it will ask you the organization. This is an organization. At least one project should have the organization. So let me create one project here. It asking the project name and description. It's always recommended to go with the uh, private visibility of the project, and also in advance, what kind of work item process should be go with the Scrum and version control, either Team Foundation or Git. I'm going with the Git. Create a project. Yeah. Now project got created. Now this is the project where we are going to create our pipelines. For that, we need to have repository. So click on repository. So when we create in a first project, it never going to be created by default repository. We need to initiate the repository. For that, just click on initialize so that it will create the repository for this project. Done. So repository got created, but we need to set up a pipelines. For that pipeline, we need to have Power Platform build tools. For that, go to project settings and click on extensions. Okay, go back to organization, click on organization settings, go to extensions. Actually, my organization already got installed this build tools. When we create in a first time, never going to be see this. Go to browse marketplace, just type yeah, it will be like this. Click on build tools, it will navigate to marketplace and click on get it free. It will ask you to log with the whatever the DevOps ID. So already it has, so this is already installed. So if it is not installed, then choose the organization and get it installed. Maybe okay. If it is not installed, it will ask you to install. When it install, you will go and create the pipelines. So go back to project. Click on pipelines. Click on, yep. Now we got a project and repository also got set up, and we got installed build tools into that project as well, means organization as well. So we are good to go with the pipelines creation. So click on new pipeline, click on use classic editor. Here we need to select the what is a repository which we are going to create our pipeline. So it is this is very important to be noted. What is the project name? In our my organization, I have these many projects. So I select this project, and what is the repository? One project may have multiple repository, so we can select any one of them, and one main repository is same name as the project name. I have this project name and repository also the same name. So select the master, click on continue, and click on empty job. Give the name, click on save. Yep. Now we need to add task to our pipelines. First, search for power plant. Yep. These are the tasks you will see when we install the extension into our DevOps. If we sorry, can you mute yourself, Yogesh? Yeah. Okay. After installing of this Power Platform build tool in your organization, just come back and search for the Power Platform. So you may not see all these many tasks. Just refresh. You will see by the time everything. And when we creating a pipeline, it's very mandate to have tool installer very in the first, so that later all these tasks will be attached to this, and in the background work will be handle this tool. Later we need to have export the solution. Then we need to import back in other environment. Then after, it's better to publish our changes wherever our solution got imported, so that we need to publish our so this is normal build pipeline, export and import our solution from one environment to another environment. So I just added these tasks. So it is have some settings has to be done. What is for export task? Export task is for asking what is the connection. Microsoft is providing for the two types of connections, which is no MFA, which is basic authentication, username and password. Another one is service principal with the secret IDs, support MFA enabled. Anyway, Microsoft is ended up with this basic authentication. We need to create a service connection for this. So in my organization, I have a couple of service connection as well, but we'll create one service connection for this. First, we need to go to office.com. There we can see the admin. Click on admin. So this service connection means service user will be enabled in Dynamics as an application user. Application user means the user cannot logged into the system, means Dynamics any environment, wherever the environment got uh, click on Active Directory, so it will navigate to Active Directory Azure portal. So that application user, it will be access the environment, but it never going to be logged in because it's not a license user for that environment. But still we can utilize that as a application user to perform this export and import solution from one environment to another environment, and also with the enabled MFA. And yeah, this is a Azure portal. Click on Azure Active Directory. Yeah. So here we need to create a app registrations for the service account. Click on app registration. Yes, actually I do have one app registration for this pipelines with the name DevOps. Let me create one more app registration. Give the name, and here what kind of APIs per access things are there, and one is for single tenant. Usually we used to work in a single tenant, and other one is multi-tenant. If you want to communicate with the multi-tenant, means other dynamics with the other tenant, so that we can utilize this option. And this one also the same, and we can go through one by one, but I'm going with single tenant. Click on register. Now app registration got created, but we need to have access to the dynamics. For that, API permissions. So now app registration got created, but we don't have any permissions till to access our dynamics. So give the API permissions, add permissions, select the dynamics. So this app registration, UCG app registration, now it has to be connect to the Dynamics CRM. So we need to give the permissions. Those permissions are delegated permission. Click on it and select the user imposition, add permissions. Now permissions are granted, but it's still admin things required. So grant admin permissions. Click on admin. Yes. First, Srinath, means this is my actually this is my organization name. So if organization name is something, then it will be grant admin consent for organization name. Just click on yes. Yes. Now this permission granted to Dynamics CRM. Now go back to overview. Yes, we got created app registration. We have API permission to access the Dynamics CRM as well. And we need to have client secrets as well. So click on secrets. Here we need to add a client secret. So we need to give a name, and also when it will be expires. We can select either custom also when we need to start and end. We'll go with this. Click on add. Yeah, we got created the secret key for this app registration as well. But this is the value. This is the secret key. We need to store in a secure place. Why? Because when we close this window, we come back, this will not be visible to capture. So let me copy this. So we got created a app registration, we got the permissions, we got the secret as well. Now we need to add this user in the dynamics as well. So let me go back to environments. Yeah, this is one environment have. We'll click on settings. Expand user and permissions. Click on app users, application users, and click on add app users. Click on add an app. Yeah, now we can see this UCG app registration which we created in Active Directory. Just select this, click on add, select the business unit. So this is a business unit have in my organization. Select this, and we need to give the security role as well. So which is admin. Click on create. So we created the app registration and we are adding as an application user in the dynamics. So this user will able to see as a enable user in the dynamics. So let's see that. Till now, any questions, anything?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah,
Hi.
please.
Yeah, it is. It means you are just see. Actually, this is the first time I'm just attending this session of day off. So I guess you are just talking about CI/CD approach, right?
Yep.
So yeah, and yeah. So currently we are just configuring. We are just configuring how things go. Then we will do some practically we'll do this practically, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and after this session is over, can I have the recording of this two sessions?
Yeah, I think yes. Yeah, I'm right, Sanjay. Yeah, this will be posted in YouTube, in Sanjay YouTube channel. So it will be available tomorrow, maybe.
Very fine, thank you.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, this is complete from beginning to end complete demonstration. So that's why I started from project to creating a service connections and all. So we didn't reach data pipeline, so I will come back to there once this service connections done with the setup. Is that fine?
Yeah, that's good to go.
Yeah. So I'm open this enable user. I can see the UCG with the name of app registration. Still, I can see that. So as a enable user, basically enable users are the license user. When we add the users in a Active Directory, that user as a enable user, but still we don't have any license to this user in a Dynamics. We don't have this one in a active that AD group as well, but still we are able to see as a enable user. So it will be connected to Active Directory, Dynamics CRM as a licensed user, but logically it's not the logical licensed user. Now we done with the user setup. Now go back to our DevOps. Now we need to set up a service connection to export our solution from environment. So select the service principal, click on manage. It will navigate to create a service connection for DevOps. So click on new service connection, search for Power Platform, select the Power Platform, click on next. It's asking server URL. So server URL is that environment URL. So let's which environment you want to export the solution. So that environment URL is a server URL for that service connection. So let's copy the URL. Tenant ID. So we can get that from app registration. Click on duplicate. If I refresh, this will go away. So so here we have tenant ID. So let's copy this. Here application ID. So this is an application ID. Paste here. And client secret of application ID. Let's copy this. Paste here. And what is the name of service connection? Click on save. Yeah. Now go back to our pipeline. Click on refresh. It will show up here. Let's select this. So this is how service connections create to Dynamics CRM, DevOps, and Active Directory. So now this task will trigger the Dynamics environment and take the solution, whatever the solution name we give. So here we need to give the solution name as a variable. So it could be anything. So this is a variable. So we need to give the solution name for this variable as well. Let's take this name and go to the variables, create a variable, and we need to give the value for this variable. So go to the Power Apps. I just created one solution here. Let's copy the solution name. And go back to the task. Now we created a solution variable, and also we passed the value for that variable as well. Now we need to give the solution output file where we want to put our solution in exported solution to where we need to store. So here the directory. So we'll post here. So I'm not selecting as a managed solution to be exported. So that's the reason why I just give the solution name dot zip. So it will export the unmanaged solution where we want to import. So it is also needs to give this service connection as well. So we need to create one more service connection, and it will be import to that target environment. And for that we need to create one more application user in the another environment. So have one more environment. Click on settings, users, click on application users, click on new app user, click on add an app, click on select, click on add, and select the business unit. Give the secondary role. Click on create. And go to service connections, click on take the URL. This will be this abbreviation works in number of environments in the single tenant. So I'm taking the same. Application ID. And secret key. And we can have a number of client secret key. There is no restriction on that, but I'm using the same. Now go back to the pipeline. So what is the solution input file? Where we are exported our solution, the same directory will be the input file. And publish customizations. So where we imported our solution, which is a UCG build environment. So same environment we need to publish after finish our import. Yep, all the settings were done. Click on save. And to run this pipeline, click on Q. It will be run. So this is a simple build pipeline to export and import solution from one environment to another environment. But another pipeline, I just want to show you that. Meanwhile, that pipeline will be execute. Actually, I created one pipeline. So this is a end-to-end pipeline. It has PowerShell script. So this PowerShell script, what it does on every build, so this will set up on which date it was committed into the repository, uh, and the date formatting and all. And as I mentioned, Power Tool installer is very mandated to execute below's other tasks related to Power Platform build tools, and exporting unmanaged solution. It has service connection, solution name, and solution output file, and also another one is unpack solution. Yeah, this is a location we got our unmanaged solution, and unpack solution task, solution input file where we exported the same location. We need to get this file, and an unpack solution, it will be unpacked the solution as unmanaged solution. So where this directory, this is a directory with the solution name folder will be created in the repository as unmanaged mode. And next task would be commit the solution into repository. Here we have our solution into this folder, but we need to have into our repository. So this task commit our unpacked solution into the repository. This is a code to commit our unpacked solution into the repository. Then we got our unpacked solution in the repository. Yes. Then if we want to, we need to same solution import into the down the line environments. It's no matter what, as a managed or unmanaged, but better to pack it and export as a unmanaged from the repository and import it to any build environment as a unmanaged and test it back. And if everything looks good, then move the solution to the down the line as a managed. So what it does, so pack the solution. It has a name where our solution pack, unpacked solution. Yes, this is a directory, same directly this is getting, and solution output file. So where we are going to have, yes, the unpacked solution we packed here. We need to put the solution file into one location. This is the default location. Build alt artifacts staging directory. Even we exported solution also will be the same location. So this is a defined directory by the Microsoft in the DevOps. So all this solution will be secured here only. And unmanaged solution, we okay, pack solution, we packed it, and we need to import as a unmanaged. So it is asking the service connection, where is a solution file we need to export, and publish our changes. And same after import, and I'm exporting the 2 times export as unmanaged and managed, so that we can utilize down the line. uh, let's say test we import the unmanaged, but UAT you import the managed. So to that reason, I created a two export task. In the same artifacts, we can have two solutions, which is managed and unmanaged. Same artifacts we can utilize down the line in release pipelines, and we can have publish artifacts as well, so that we can store our exported solution into this artifacts folder name is drop. Now we can change whatever the name if needed. So this is the pipelines looks like. Export and import the solutions and unpack and pack. So I will show you the how the solution will be export and unpacked and post into the repository. So this is how solution will be uh, commit into repository as a unpacked. It will be unpacked as a folder wise any apps, model driven apps or canvas app, whatever the apps into this folder. Yes, canvas apps entities will has different kind of entity tables folder. It has forms. Yeah, this is the structure for unpacked solution and reports. This is how the solution will be unpacked and commit into the repository as folders like this. This is one repository, but we can have a number of unpacked solution we can commit. We can see this. This was last changes done on this folders. Let's say open this folder. If we expand this, actually I don't have two builds. So if we have two builds, we can see the compare. We can compare the codes. Let's say we committed one solution. Later time we removed couple of component into that form or any component, any property we removed. We need to store somewhere to at least some kind of history. So it will be give us a privilege what happened previous how it was there and now how it is. So we can compare on a basis of time. So what we removed and what we added into the new solution. If we remove anything, it will be show as a minus lines of code got removed. I think I should have that. Okay, we'll test that. Customer service. Okay. So any questions?
No questions till now. We have not received any questions now.
It's taking time.
Publishing always takes time, right?
Yeah, done. So now Run new. So I did some changes into the solution. So how it will be visible in repository time to time. So my last run was yesterday. So it should be do some of the components need to be show some today's date. I will show you some differences. So meanwhile, we can take any couple of questions, if any.
Srinath, Krishna is asking that how to check the log files if in case of any failure happened.
Yes, yes, yes. I will show you. It will show something like this. If something, we can view raw log. It will show what exactly the issue is. We can download even.
And it will generate automatically, right?
Yeah, it will generate a, it's same something like when we do manual, we have a log file also we can download. It will be same as like and also it will be send an email as well, so to everybody to notify this log if something got failed, everybody will be noted, whoever the part of that group, those guys will be this file also will be sent as email.
Okay, and that is the part of out of the box, right?
Out of the box, but mail, yeah, no, mail will be sent whoever run the pipeline, but if we want to configure the group, we need to have the flow.
Okay.
But one person definitely it will be reach
Okay.
whatever the, either if it is a success, either if it is in a failure, it will be sent all the report files, everything.
And one more question we received: how to schedule of the jobs?
Yeah, I will. So we can have the triggers where when we want to have this pipeline should be executed. Triggers, we can have schedule as well. So when we want to schedule the time, it will be scheduled on basis of the time which we set up.
Right. We can also do it weekly or monthly, right?
Yeah. Whatever the date, date or anything, the period of set of period, it will be
Recurrence.
executed. Yep.
Right. Right. So it's around.
Whatever the time on date.
Okay. That's all questions from audience.
And this is the repository where these code samples, how the repositories will be packed and packed, and this is locations. This is a pre-defined locations. We can't do any changes to here. This is a GitHub repository, I would say, locations. So we need to use this one only. So you guys can look into this as well.
You can share the link to audience.
Yep. So if we execute, yeah, we can see what's going on and anything we can see here. Okay, but some my trial environment issues, but anyhow, solution got committed into a repository, so we'll look into the repository. It's a Some my trial environment issue it is. Yeah, can we see that till now? Just now got committed this solution, and let me open this. These two added 2 minutes ago, but these are the yesterday entities. I added accounts, so 2 minutes ago. These are the things, like this. When we got changer, what we got changes, so that we can monitor. Let's do Sanjay, do we have time, or we are running out of
Yeah,
the time?
now we have more time, so you can continue to end it completely.
Yep. So let me create one field. Save. Click on publish.
So we are trying to upgrade some components, right?
Yeah, I just added one field, and I placed on the form, so
Right.
that how this normally things like coding projects, this number of lines were code added, and this line number of lines were removed in this commit. So same as like that, we can see in our repository, yes, this field got added, and this field got removed. It will be show
Right.
as a green line and red lines. Same as like our coding projects works, coding repositories, .NET repositories. Of course, we need to see that this component were removed and uh, from the solution. We need to upgrade, unless we don't see that.
And Srinath, how much time it will take more?
It's 2 minutes to
Oh,
run this. It's a publishing now. After
right.
publishing, I will run the pipeline, and we can see how the this component will be visible in the repository. I will.
Okay.
Yep. So it will take next 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
Meanwhile, if any questions, any.
We have not to set any questions. And Krishna is asking how to set environment variables and how to configure number of jobs in one shot. How to see
Number of
component in register.
a number of jobs. What?
Number of jobs in one shot. Multiple jobs.
Multiple pipelines.
Yeah, looks like that.
Yeah, we can have multiple pipelines. There is
Okay.
no issue on that. But no, it's a limited scope, I would say, because we are running on a virtual machine. On Azure hosted that virtual machine, it will be wait to that machine release from other pipelines. So there will be bit of delays if we use multiple pipelines in the same project. For that we have to scale ourselves to fast our things. We can have deployment groups, so there we can create our virtual machine and we can host our pipelines over there, so that it will be we can run the pipelines very frequent.
Okay. Good.
And meanwhile, I will show you the how release pipelines will be looks like. And go to the release and create new release. It will ask you to select which build pipeline, not this. So it will run the pipeline. So it will ask you to select the which build pipeline. It name, and it will ask you to give the alias name. So this name will be used in a release pipeline to get the repositories from here. We'll select this. It is same as like a same task, but call it as a release pipeline. Same things will be going to be set as a solution file, and which environment you're going to publish, give the service connection. But here is import file from where we want to uh, collect the file and import it. So click on three ellipse. So it will be show us the linked artifacts. So I'll expand this. Folder name is drop, and select the whatever the file which is a managed or unmanaged. So select this. The location, it will automatically take that. No need to remember anything. So this way, we cannot we can avoid the issues. And also this is looks the same. And this we can automate, auto trigger when we succeed the build pipeline. We can set enable, so this will be started automatically, the release pipeline. And if you want to have any approvals to import our solution into the environments, we can have approvals for this. Pre-deployment approvals. It will need to add any group or anything. Like this, we can add our approvals list. The timeout also we can set up. When the user didn't approve, then that request will be timeout, and it's no longer will be execute to import. So this is the time on which time you want to process it. So that's how we can our jobs will be automated when build got succeed. Yes, this is committed. Let's go back to repository. Entities, account. See, this is how got changes. 2 lines of code got removed and 96 lines got added. So this is how this is a previous build and this is side by side. This is how we can maintain our unpacked solution in the repository. Yeah. Yeah, this is how solutions will be committed into the repository and consume artifacts into release pipeline to import the solution into down the line environments. If you guys have any questions, anything, you guys can touch base with me offline. As I showed, these are my social links. You guys can reach out to me anytime. I'm very active in Twitter, LinkedIn as well. So you guys can reach out to me anytime.
Srinath, there is another question.
Yep.
While exporting and importing solutions from one environment to another environment, someone is facing challenges of warning in agent job. So,
Sorry.
how this work? While exporting and importing solutions, the job is giving some warning, right? The agent job. Am I audible, Srinath? Okay, guys. So we are running out of time, and there might be some technical issue. So we can.
Hello.
Yeah, am I audible, Srinath?
Yeah. Sorry, I just disconnected.
So someone asked, Thamim asked that while exporting and importing solution, the agent job is giving some warning. So
Which kind of warning?
Thamim, you can reach Srinath offline, no issue.
Warnings are which is fine. In the background, virtual machines get updated or anything happens in a background. That's a Microsoft things. Sometimes maybe that in that region. Let's say which I showed that my pipelines were hosted in North American region. So maybe that time that a virtual machine may be updated or anything. So maybe we get warnings, but that's okay. Warnings are okay. That's purely Microsoft thing. But if sometimes pipelines will be struck with the pool job, any waiting mode, it will be struck. But we can't do any agent job. That's completely Microsoft stuff.
Okay, so we are done for the today's session, and thank you, Srinath. Just awesome session today. And someone is asking, will you provide some link where I can read and understand more about this DevOps jobs? Yeah, okay, we will record this session. We are recording this session, and we will upload it, so we can share everyone so that they can use it later. And thank you, Srinath, and thank you, the nice audience.
Thank you, Sanjay, Srinath, both of you. It was a wonderful session. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah. the knowledge sharing. I hope the link will be uploaded by tomorrow on the YouTube.
No, today only. Today end of the day I will update.
Okay, that's very nice. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jitendra.
Thank you, Sanjay and Srinath. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We will come with more,
Thank you, Krishna.
more Dateverse and Power Platform topics every Saturday. So stay tuned, and we will meet again and again. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Srinath. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you,
Thank-
Srinath.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.